Hey everybody, I'm Bobby Mason and you're watching Mountaintop Meals, the platform for the restaurants of the high country to tell us their story. Today we're going to a Boone classic, the Cardinal. The Cardinal is on Highway 105 and it offers burgers, sandwiches, and other classic American foods. Today I'll be sitting down with Seth and with Scott, two of the owners of the Cardinal, so they can tell us just what this restaurant's about. But before that, let's go inside and take a look. Alright everybody, we're here with Seth and with Scott, and we are going to ask them a couple of questions, try and figure out what the Cardinal is all about. So first things first, y'all want to introduce yourselves, talk about how y'all met?
My name's Seth Sullivan. I'm one of the owners of the Cardinal. I met Scott. Scott and I bartended together for 8 or 10 years at another local place. And that's how we met. Became fast friends. Along with our other partner, Chris. All three of us worked there together.
Okay, so y'all worked together for a while before you decided to open a restaurant?
Chris and Scott worked together for a long time.
Yeah, in like 2004 to 2007, Chris and I worked together, and then I moved to Durham.
And then from 2007, basically, until 2010 or 11.
Yeah,
so
10 or 11.
Mm-hmm. Chris and I worked together, and then Scott moved back, and then all three of us worked together for a year or two.
Okay.
And then, and in all three of those iterations, we were constantly, whether it's Scott and Chris or Chris and I or Scott and I, we were always talking about opening a spot up together. So that's kind of how.
Okay, so it's always something y'all have kind of been thinking about, like a passion project.
Right.
It was. I mean, it really wasn't like kind of an inevitability. It was inevitable that we were going to do it.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, I think we all knew pretty early on, and we knew we wanted to do a cheeseburger restaurant.
Okay,
that was kind of exactly what we wanted to do.
Okay, cool. So you knew like what you wanted to serve and everything. Why the Cardinal?
It's a state bird.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So obviously, you can see all the North Carolina stuff all over. So is that really like trying to go for a North Carolina theme?
Yeah, I think that when we sat down to talk about like what was important to us, things that have a kind of a sense of place, I think, are important. Like whether that whatever that is, whether it's music or art or food, having a sense of place, tying yourself to where you're from and the community around you, I think is really important. And it for a restaurant, it pays dividends because if people feel like you're invested in your local community and invested in where you're at, they will invest in you.
Okay.
It's reciprocal in nature, I think.
Yeah, that's something we kind of wanted to touch on is community. Yeah. So obviously y'all are from around here, kind of been here for a while. What do y'all do to try and get the Cardinal invested in the community?
Well, Scott is really involved in Habitat, and his wife is pretty involved in Habitat.
We purchased a lot of stuff from like local farmers.
That is like if you want to go. Yeah, food-wise.
Yeah, we source a lot of our greens and root vegetables and stuff locally. We work with 4 or 5 local farms. Our farm burger beef comes from a local source. Our emu comes out of Liberty, North Carolina. So that was really important to us to have that aspect to buy close and invest in other businesses around us. Lettuce Produce provides us with our wholesale produce. But yeah, we do a lot of charity work.
Linen napkins from a couple locally. They wash and collect and wash our food. All the napkins here are different. So
yeah.
And then we're involved. We've worked with Western Youth Network and the Children's Council, and we've done a lot of stuff with Oasis. And
Seth wrote the bar program, like the bar outreach support program for Oasis.
Co-wrote.
Co-run.
What exactly is that, Dal?
It's a thing. Jessica Dale from Oasis approached us, actually, Chris, Scott, and I, about being the test group for this. Basically, it's a community action program, like to get bartenders and bar owners trained to be active bystanders in cases of like sexual harassment and sexual assault. And it's something that like you deal with being in restaurants that serve alcohol more than you would think, probably more than like a bank teller does, you know. So anyway, Jessica approached us about our staff being the test group for that because Jessica was a customer here, and then out of that kind of test group session, her and I began to work together and really sculpt this program that we've trained almost every bar in town on at this point.
Okay.
She actually is out on maternity leave, and I think left Oasis, took a job at ASU, so I don't know if she's going to continue that work. Yeah. But anyway,
it's like a training program.
It's like a 2.5 hour training. That,
for staff.
For staff.
So that way, because you're at work, you're there, and so you can be the first one, and 100 times out of 100, you're the sober ones in the room. So.
So a degree of responsibility, making everyone feel
and it's like something that like you can't really be prepared for, unless you know what's coming, I guess.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that you serve emu, and I think that's not one of the only exotic or unusual meats. Was that a local opportunity that you jumped on, or was it something that you kind of strove to do?
So our other partner Chris and I worked together at the Gamekeeper for a couple of years, like. Immediately before we opened this, we'd worked there. So we had done business with that emu farm through the Gamekeeper, and then we just continued to build a relationship with them, and now we buy a lot of it.
Okay.
And Dan's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's
I do it with chorizo. It's very good. 50-50. It's my favorite burger on the menu.
Yeah.
But we've also done we have bison on the menu all the time. Right now
from Asheville.
Yeah. The game burger right now is
it's emu.
Okay, so and then we've done all kinds of other stuff.
Wild boar,
rattlesnake, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Wild snake.
I saw that on the menu one time. It was a rattlesnake hot dog, right?
Yeah, it's a sausage dog, rattlesnake and rabbit. And I promise you, there were people there was at least 3 couples that came in, sat down, looked at the menu, and one of the people in that couple went, "Oh no, they got snakes here. We got to go," and got up and left the restaurant.
Do you get that often? People that just react weirdly to some of the stuff?
No, I think people are like more intrigued by it and interested to eat it. And our top seller is still and will always be the Cardinal burger, which is just like a 70-30 flat top char grill patty. Delicious.
Yeah, the classic.
Yeah.
And that you can get them in with that, and then maybe they eat three or four of those, and the 5th or 6th time they come, they try something weird, So, I encourage everybody to eat wild game. It's delicious.
Yeah. So you have kind of some simple things like the Cardinal burger on the menu, and then you also have some unexpected things like emu, rattlesnake and stuff. What do you try and go for on a menu? Like, what about something lands it on the menu for you?
I think that when we sit down to be completely honest, when we sit down to work out the menu here, we were like 2 months into opening this place basically on our own. We did a lot of the work here ourselves.
More than we should have.
I don't recommend.
Yeah, don't do that.
But we just sat around on 5-gallon buckets and we're like, okay, what goes on this burger? That sounds good. All right, in hindsight, I think that the most important thing about a menu is it needs to be fairly simple and easy to execute and easy to approach. You don't want to overwhelm people. So while you might have, something that sounds strange on a menu, protein-wise, you can still make that approachable with what you put on the burger, or make it sound good, I guess. You
cover emu in queso cheese sauce, and people are like, "Cool, man, I'll try that."
Yeah,
it gets real easy after that.
And I think to zoom out, I think that making something that is both tied to like kind of the classic American road food ideas that are present on our menu, like corn dogs and stuff like that. Something that's tied to that, but also like looking forward a little bit, trying to be a little out there.
Yeah, it seems like y'all go for that a lot. You know, very intricate and thought out, but also very approachable.
Yeah.
Like you have all sorts of crazy decorations, but you walk in and it still feels like, you know, walking into a living room or something.
That's what we were shooting for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I noticed y'all have a food truck. Was that something y'all always wanted to do, or was that a child?
There are times when I still don't want to do it. I'm just kidding.
No, man, it kind of fell in our lap. We, a friend of ours worked for ASU and let us know that they were looking at bringing food trucks into the football games as some kind of pilot program. And it sounded like a good idea at the time, and
Yeah.
we,
And it has been a great idea.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So we just kind of stumbled into it.
We use it kind of as an extension of as opposed to like, you know, a lot of businesses that are run out of food trucks. Ours is basically like an extension of the restaurant. It allows us to go and do things that we would be like. One thing about burgers and fries is that they don't carry very well. Like if you order a burger and then eat it an hour from now, it's not going to be very good. French fries are going to be terrible. You know? So people, when we first opened, we were getting approached all the time to do catering events or help go to schools and feed schools, you know, whatever. And it was really hard. It's really hard to do that and serve food that you can be proud of. Having a mobile kitchen makes that incredibly easy, way easier. So that's an added bonus of the food truck also, is that we are able to kind of branch our business out. We do a lot of weddings and rehearsal dinners. Scott actually does all of that. Scott runs the food truck.
And it's a rolling advertisement.
Yeah,
like
it
people see it, and every time we take it to one event, by the time I can get back, there's already someone that has emailed about an event. As soon as it hits the road, someone is going to go, oh yeah, I've got a wedding, I've got a birthday, my niece's bar mitzvah's coming, and so they hit us up.
So along those lines, what do you think the most interesting place that you've taken the food truck is?
The most. Beach Mountain is always interesting to get it up there and down. Brown Mountain Beach Resort down in I don't even know where that is.
181 North of Morgan.
Yeah, it's kind of out in the middle of
Is that Mortimer?
yeah, Mortimer maybe down off the mountain, and it's a little yurt campsite set up kind of thing. And we went down there for like a bicycle race, and it had flooded the night before, so we kind of not forded the truck, but it definitely was interesting getting down there.
Some high stress situation.
Yes, absolutely.
Driving that thing's kind of terrifying too. Scott's real old hat at it. He drives it all the time. But when I have to fill in and drive it, you know, you're sitting like basically on top of the engine. So, you know, going down Beach Mountain in that thing, it's like, you know, you're like up here looking down. It's pretty
Feels like you're falling
pretty
forward.
terrifying.
You're driving a roller coaster.
Yeah, and you're going like 15 miles an hour, but the thing weighs like, you know, much more than it should probably.
So
Yeah,
at any moment, gravity could say, "Hey, let's go for a ride."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely
First gear. A lot of
yeah,
first gear.
it's-
A lot of first gear.
It can be a pretty harrowing experience.
What's the furthest y'all take it?
Kernersville? We took it down to a food truck festival down there.
There's like time temperature issues when you take it too far. You know, you have to keep everything in coolers and pay attention to food temps and stuff because you're carrying food. I mean, I guess we could get food dropped somewhere.
We could. But we're also in the process, some of the guys at ASU in their solar department are writing a proposal so that we can put solar panels on top of it and then run it not solely on solar, but 90% of our electrical use will be from solar power.
Which would be huge because then you could drive
Anywhere we want.
and it would keep the refrigeration would all work and stuff.
Okay.
We have to stop and like plug it into either a generator or an outlet to get the refrigeration to work. It doesn't work off gas.
Yeah.
Combustion engine.
So along the lines, it seems like the food truck was something that you just hopped on when it came along. But is there anything that the Cardinal or you guys specifically have planned for the future?
We have an expansion planned. We're going to do definitely. We've been very fortunate with the amount of business we've gotten. So in the next 2021-ish, we're going to take out one of our kitchen walls. We're going to push it about 10 feet out, do some landscaping out back to provide some more outside seating, that kind of thing, just because it's, again, and I mean, with the joy of the food truck is that it has essentially become extra prep space, right. just so that we can kind of meet the demand that the restaurant requires.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're going to expand the kitchen, and we just opened Lily's, 3 months ago or 4 months ago.
4 months ago.
July. So
nothing for 5 more years.
Yeah,
nothing new for 5 years.
Nothing for a little while. Our wives are like, okay,
yeah,
that's enough.
Once you hit a milestone, it's like, all right, ride the wave for a bit.
Yeah. Right now, we're just we're content and working also to just continue to improve what we do. There's still, there's still that odd, bad Google review. There's still like inconsistencies. There's still mistakes that happen. So there's always room for improvement. So that's, on a micro scale, that's where our heads are at. And on a macro scale, yeah, we're going to expand the kitchen, hopefully, so that we can keep up. So,
like y'all said earlier, listening to the community and responding to what they need.
Right.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Well, this has been a great conversation,
Sure.
but I think it's about time to see what y'all make in the kitchen.
Cool.
Let's do it.
I can throw together. This right here is the fried chicken sandwich. They loaded it up for us with pimento cheese and bacon. But that is a big piece of fried chicken if I've ever seen it.
6 ounce breast, antibiotic, hormone-free.
All natural.
Pure day.
Straight from farm to table. Yes, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. I get to eat these now. I know you don't get to eat them with me, but I sure hope that they look beautiful enough. Because as Seth said, you eat with your eyes first. First thing we're gonna take a big old bite out of is the chicken sandwich. They loaded it up with pimento cheese and bacon, and I'm sure that that's just going to be the icing on this cake. Here we go. Just gonna unhinge my jaw real quick.
Close up, Jason.
That is delicious. Clean myself up a bit. It's a very simple but very delicious chicken sandwich. Didn't want to put too much in the way of just delicious fried chicken, and it really is. It's a whole fried chicken breast. And give you a little cross section that I just chewed open for you. I just think that is beautiful. I remember now why I wanted to do this show so much. Delicious flavors. The pimento cheese, they mixed it together themselves. And there's just something about the flavor of pimento cheese that, if you like it, will take you back to the first time you had it. It's so good, such a memory stimulant. And on this chicken sandwich, it's just perfect, in my opinion. Well, we've taken a couple bites out of this chicken sandwich, and before we lose our control and just eat all of it, we're gonna go on over to the double Cardinal burger. This is their flagship burger. It's 2 patties on a flat top grill stacked up together with good old-fashioned cheddar cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a good sample because my crew are watching hungrily like wolves, and I'm sure they want some of it too. So let's go ahead and tuck in. Just an instant blast of cheese in your mouth. It all just melts together beautifully. Gives you a nice little cross section. As you can see, they've got onion, tomato, lettuce, and mayo. It all just comes together in one beautiful symphony of flavors. Now that right there is how a hamburger should look. Still nice and juicy. That flat top just traps all the grease. Cooks in its own fat. So delicious. I probably have stuff all over my face, but I don't care. It's worth it for the flavors. And of course, delicious fresh vegetables, all from local farms. It gives it some crispness. Now it's not just one giant blob of meat on a bun. It's very simple, but very thoughtful and very carefully done, and that's what really makes a difference. Scott, Seth, thank you so much for having me in.
Nice to see you, man.
It was great to come and ask you some questions. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoys it. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, cool. Now, if it were me, I would go back in there and get another burger. But unfortunately, it's time to wrap up this episode of Mountaintop Meals. I had a great time sitting down with Scott and Seth, and it was great to hear what they had to say about their restaurant, the Cardinal. And I know I'll definitely be coming back. I'm Bobby Mason, and this has been Mountaintop Meals.